KPEL.
It's Wingin' It Wednesday, driven by Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
Good morning. Welcome to Wingin' It Wednesday. Carol Ross and Warren Cottle. Hey, did I blow your ears out there? Sorry. I kind of jumped up.
I was doing my impression of, just kidding. He's mad now.
You know, I'm wearing a real shirt today. That means I can walk into the HR office with a straight face, so you be careful.
Must be a big meeting going on. He doesn't have his
I won't make you feel bad.
Def Leppard T-shirt on.
Oh, come on. I have a little class. It's at least an event T-shirt. Like, it's at least a family event T-shirt. All right, welcome to Wingin' It Wednesday. We're on Cottle, Carol Ross, joining us as they do. And you know what? Look how unprepared I am. I don't even have the topic sitting in front of me yet. Where are we going to start with this? Because there's so much going on, so much to talk about, whether it be in the legislature, in Baton Rouge. You know what, Carol? I'll let you pick. You have the topics. Where you want to start?
You really want me to start with Susan Rice?
Okay, sounds good to me.
Oh, my God. The serial prevaricator, the professional prevaricator. This woman is so accomplished at lying. I tell you, the lies just rolled trippingly off her tongue. There she sat with Judy Woodruff a couple of weeks ago, and Judy Woodruff said, "Did you know anything?" "No, I knew nothing about this." Then it went from, "Well, yes, but I was the national security advisor, and I needed to see these things because it's for the national security." And now we'll see, because if you remember, there was a story about the president issuing an executive order to allow this stuff to be disseminated. So she was doing the bidding. Now, the unmasking is perfectly legal, really, but not leaking it is.
That's the big part.
Not leaking it is the key. So we'll see. When Adam Schiff came back from that meeting with that quote unquote the security guy, the same guy that Devin Nunes met with, right? When he came back and he wasn't screaming and yelling about the Russians, I knew something was up. I mean, because normally that's their default setting right there. The Russians. So he saw something that maybe chastened him just a little bit, not a lot. It's hard to chasten a Democrat. They stick to their talking points. But anyway, it's really interesting to see the way this whole story has evolved, and we haven't seen the last of it. You know that, I know that. There's just no way of telling where it's going to go. But I think it's going to end up with people on one side knowing darn well that there was leaking going on, there was unmasking, there was active, not inadvertent or incremental or incidental surveillance. There was active surveillance going on. And so what's new? Is anybody surprised by this? When you see the history of the quote-unquote metadata collection that we've become aware of over the past years? So the only thing I would tell people is, and it's something that I live by, assume everybody's listening all the time.
And just be ready for it. All right, Warren. Well, Carol's off the Susan Rice Christmas card list. What you going to do for yourself?
Well, I was never on her Christmas card list that I'm aware of. However, if you listen to these people, we're in a state of war. You know, I never did like that term being used whenever the Republicans used it. You know, we're at war, the global war on terror, blah, blah, blah. These people are out to destroy the government of the United States of America. They want to totally take it over. If you listen to them, it's all a pack of lies. But they choose their words very carefully. This clown on CNN, which I do not watch, but I saw a clip of it. I think his name is Don Lemon.
Oh.
And he says on there that they are not into fake news and blah, blah, blah. And there's not one shred of evidence that the Trump campaign was illegally spied on. The optimum word, illegally spied on. But they were spied on. And every damn person in this world knows they were spied on. And CNN knows they were spied on. The problem is that somewhere back we authorized the NSA and them to spy on Americans, which had always always been against the law and violated the basic tenets and principles of our Constitution. And now it is just taken as carte blanche, and it should not be. So they spied on him. We know that. As Carol said, they're all listening. They always are, but they choose their words carefully. Like old James Clapper, who was in charge of national intelligence or whatever, when he said before Congress, when he perjured himself before Congress and said they were not recording that data, when in fact they were, and he knew they were, with the exception was, there's just a little slight difference in the term of the word that was used. One word means, yes, you're recording everything. The other word means, well, you're not really intercepting everything. Dogs barking is not intercepted. So therefore, no, we're not recording everything.
Yes.
And that kind of stuff. Here's the deal. This is where the real problem comes in. Okay, so they spied on the Trump campaign. They probably spied on all of them. But what they did with the data clearly violates federal law. When they turned around and disseminated that information out about who was in those conversations and even put out the transcript of the conversations with Flint, those things violated every law it is. And every one of these people who are standing there saying they didn't, they're lying through their teeth.
And that's where the selective interpretation comes in, and that's where they all circle the wagons. The media, big government, big Democrats, they all get together and they coordinate the talking points, and it's ridiculous.
It's the military term. It's the order of battle.
Effort, because the Republicans keep talking over each other and at different points. One on the certain stance on this. Some want to talk, some don't want to talk. Moon talks about this almost every day. Hey, let's stick to the law and upholding the law and the laws of the land with the next Supreme Court justice. We'll talk about the nomination of Neil Gorsuch coming up on Wingin' It Wednesday. Brought to you by Service Chevrolet Cadillac with express service now, Saturdays, 8 to 3. More about Service Cadillac and the incentives all coming up. Wingin' It Wednesday, 7. We're at Service Cadillac.
I'm glad your kids fit in your car.
It was a minor.
It's always reassuring when the kids fit in the car and you let them in. It's even better when you let them in the car.
Consideration.
That was only a minor detail.
I'll tell you this. When I first got the car, the person who had it before, because I got the certified pre-owned. It's the way to go. And the person had the automatic seats on. So like when you turn the car off, it would back up. Well, I put my daughter in the car one day while it was already on. And then we get home, and all of a sudden she starts saying, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." And I realized the seat was crushing her. And I said, well, we can't get this one. Got to get one a little bit bigger.
He does have to kind of think about him,
I'd be the one guy in Lafayette with a 6-year-old with a rear-facing seat. Well, we can't have her feet facing forward. Anyway, go see our friends over there. Dean, Rhonda, always there to help. There are other people too, but those are the ones I see.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Neil Gorsuch. Oh, you know what? Let's go to the phone first. Someone has a comment about
was, waiting
the
patiently.
Susan Rice situation and a question for the Wingin' It Wednesday panelists. Go ahead, sir, with your question.
Well, I just wanted to know, I always hear that the metadata thing is something that's information collected on millions of Americans, and I just want to know, they always said that if they target any one individual, they have to go to a FISA court. So, if an agency has to go to a FISA court, did Susan Rice go through a FISA court?
Oh, no, that was part of her job description. She didn't have to go through the FISA court because she's the National Security Deputy Advisor-in-Chief or something like that. And so she didn't need to do any of that.
It's my understanding that the FISA court orders is the one you go to get the order to target somebody.
On a specifically.
Now, her deal was she just got a hold of the information after it had been recorded and then decided, apparently, she's the one who sent it out to the different 17 agencies or whatever. And everybody knows that was done for one purpose and one purpose only, and that was to get it out there in the public.
But as Laura Ingraham pointed out, who is a lawyer and who's been involved in this, she said that's not part of what the White House does. This is supposed to be for the intelligence agencies. But for her to be the one to be shepherding this information and getting it out there, it really makes you understand it was all political. It was all political. I mean, there's no. Imagine that, Warren.
Yeah.
But you know how things,
We're shocked.
You know how
Shocked.
things go in politics. Like, let's go ahead and just look ourselves in the mirror. If it already happened one time, it's going to happen again because now there's a precedent. In 4 years or 3.5 years, when Trump is running for re-election, I think we're going to hear the same exact story from the other side.
I don't think so.
Look, here's the
I
big
don't
deal.
think
Here's
so.
the big deal. Is what I know. I brought it up several times when all of this stuff came up. When it came up with the Patriot Act under George Bush, and Dick Cheney's the one who came up with. He said that was the thing he was the most proud of, is putting that NSA spying act together in my office. He said, and I said then, if you're going to be doing that, how soon will it be before they start targeting political candidates and trying to destroy them? And when you've got the government out there doing it, what in the hell is the difference between that and the Third Reich? Tell me. Please, somebody tell me.
Well, and the other thing is that one of the intelligence officers said, look, with all this metadata, it's obscuring a lot of the true terrorists. There's so much data out there that
you can hide in the muddy water.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go back to the phone calls. 232-1542. Your comments for the Wingin' It Wednesday panelists. Go ahead.
What are you doing? Why would the Trump administration be in that position?
Why would what?
Why would he be in that position talking to a Russian diplomat?
How about they talk to everybody? They're an incoming administration. Obviously, they want to talk to everybody.
My God, I have talked to Russian diplomats. I've been in meetings with Russian diplomats.
Well, who knows?
I'm asking a question. If he didn't do nothing wrong, he ain't got nothing to worry about.
Well, let me tell you, there have been a lot of people who did wrong things, and they don't have anything to worry about because they have the media and the law enforcement on their side. Oh, really? It's not? Trust me.
You ain't got to worry about nothing.
There you go. Hillary Clinton, Benghazi, you didn't do anything wrong, right?
If you didn't do nothing wrong, you'd have nothing to worry about.
Okay, you're right, Carl. You're exactly right. So here's the deal. In this country, there's something called the burden of proof. What did he do wrong?
If he didn't do nothing wrong, you'd have nothing to worry about.
What did he do wrong? Tell us.
But then I don't know what's all the fuss about. If he fussed about somebody spied on him, if he didn't do nothing wrong,
and the other side is claiming that he did something wrong. So please tell us, what did he do wrong?
We'll find out. If he didn't do nothing wrong, he ain't got nothing to worry about.
We'll see. It's not the last we'll hear of this story.
Well, listen, tell that to Scooter Libby, Ray Donovan, and all those other people who didn't do anything wrong, and they were ruined.
Okay, you want to take a deep breath and move on? All right, let's move on to Neil Gorsuch. Don't start with the kumbaya, please.
You want to take another call? Because that's kind of fun.
Let's take another call.
All right. You know, you never know where it's going to go.
We took a long enough of a deep breath that Bernie's like, no, stick another syringe in. Okay, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, well, I'm just mentioning a couple of points. First off, you talked about, he just spoke about how the Third Reich, when the IC is being used against its political appointments, you also have to consider the state-run media, but it's only run by half the state.
Yeah.
And also, why is Obama so quiet?
Well, he's getting back to his roots, I think, somewhere in Indonesia or Fiji or Tahiti.
Oh, no, he is writing his book on an island in the South Pacific. That's what we hear.
Well, good.
Oh, another book. Great.
Do we need another book from Obama?
Thank you for your call.
will it be a child's book or a novel? It'll
Let's
be
take
fiction.
one more.
It'll be fiction, just like the other ones.
Go to Gorsuch, but go ahead with this caller.
How you doing?
Hello.
Okay, that's good. Look, I just wanted to make a comment on what the last caller said. If he didn't do anything wrong, he don't have anything to worry about. I think that's not true because they got those innocent people that went to the that got death penalties charged for a crime they didn't commit. They didn't do anything wrong. So you can't use that analogy. If you didn't do anything wrong, you don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah, there you go. I agree with that caller.
Well, just like an investigation into a regular citizen. I mean, there has to be a reason to go into your house.
Right.
There has to be a warrant to go into your house.
There should be.
There should be. You're right about that. You're right. Let's hit real quickly. The phone calls have calmed down for a second. Let's talk about Neil Gorsuch. What's going to happen? Are we going to have a confirmation by the end of the week, as some suspect? Warren, go ahead, kick this one off.
Yes, and they should do the nuclear option. They should absolutely follow through on everything they were elected to do. You know, the Republicans, so many of them are sitting up there and they're fearing fallout. If we do these things. Let me tell you something. You go in there and you do the right thing, you do what you said you were going to do, you do what the American people voted for, guess what? The next election cycle comes around, there's going to be more in your ranks.
Exactly.
You know, at least there's going to be more of those people who say, send me up there. I'll do what I say I'm going to do.
So what do you make for the people that, I don't know if they're critics, but they just say, don't use it now. Wait until you have like a Ginsburg or someone who you have to replace.
Well, that would be the Democrats' choice, not to force them to do it now.
Absolutely, you use it now. You need to.
Well, I mean, what I mean is if they push their hand, yeah, you use it. In fact, it's such an arcane rule. We are in a whole different age right now. And for the Republicans to worry about using the new... What do you think is going to happen the next resignation? Do you think, because right now, this is a replacement for a conservative justice, and they're going through all this storm and drang about this. What do you think is going to happen the next time when a liberal judge retires and they have to put in, and Trump puts in a conservative? Mm-hmm. What do you think is going to happen then? It's going to be World War III. So do it now, get it over with.
All right, we're going to take a call to wrap up this segment. 232, no more time? They're gone? Burn.
They went bye-bye.
All right. We'll take some more calls from you coming up. Wingin' It Wednesday brought to you by Service Cadillac. All kinds of things on sale. The remaining 2016 Cadillacs, there's still a few on the lot. One of the biggest selections you've seen. Definitely the largest in our area. Huge selection of over 15 different models to choose from. Hey, how about these incentives? 2016 Cadillac ATS or XTS, 0% for 60 months. Or the 2017 Cadillac ST5. Remember that fancy schmancy loaner I had? That's what it was. $399 for 36 months. 1212 Ambassador Caffrey, just close to I-10 here in Lafayette. Service Cadillac and The Wash, because it's Wash It Up Wednesday. Take some time today if you're sitting in traffic right there or just driving past. It's one of the best car washes you'll get in town. Definitely the nicest people to do it for you. It's 7:38.
Videos.
It's Wingin' It Wednesday, driven by Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
Once upon a midnight, dear, I woke with something in my head. Couldn't escape the memory of a phone call and of what you said. Like a game show contestant with a parting gift. I could not believe my eyes when I saw through the thoughts of a trusted friend who used to humor me and tell me lies. Yeah, humor me and tell me lies. And I'll lie to and say I...
All right, it's 7:43. Gosh, the off-air show. It's raging today. Hey, we do know, by the way, just a quick mention, we'll continue to follow this story at kpal965.com, but last night at the LCG City Council meeting, we do know that the board did approve a resolution essentially supporting the school board tax that's going to be on the April 29th ballot. So we do know that's coming. We've talked kind of about that as it has come up. We've heard from the school board as well right here on the show too.
Because we know that the school board manages our money so well that we want to give them more of it.
Okay. In uncertain terms, let's talk about I don't know if it's a conspiracy. I was going to say controversy. Is it a controversy? Is it not? What is it? You have the Fox accusers. Last weekend, the New York Times did a story about $13 million being paid to 5 different accusers of Bill O'Reilly claiming sexual harassment. The surprising part to me was that he actually paid out some of it. He, in a response to that, he said that he wanted to kind of spare his kids the embarrassment or his family the embarrassment. That the reason to do that, I mean, that to me that goes against everything we know about Bill O'Reilly. That he's a bulldog. He fights for things. I don't know. What do you make of it? I know advertisers are pulling out of the show.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah, the advertisers are going to pull out. This is a behemoth.
Okay.
This is a behemoth, and Bill O'Reilly is the biggest behemoth of all the behemoths. You want to know how much he made for Fox? How much his show made for Fox in 1 year? $178 million. You know what it was? 2014 to 2016, $446 million. You really think they're going to get rid of him? No way. I mean, he bullies people on the air. I can only imagine what it's like off the air. But you know what? That's why people tune in, because the variety of topics on his show really covers the whole social fabric, the legal, the political, the whole bit. It's done in a way that he has fun guests on, you know, McGurk and Gutfeld and Kimberly Guilfoyle and Ebony Williams. And I mean, all the people who are contributors to his show are really interesting. Sometimes they get aggravated. He won't let them talk enough and all that. His point is, I'm always trying to move I'm trying to move it along. He doesn't want people to filibuster, blah, blah. So is there a problem? There might be. I mean, there may be that sort of atmosphere there that some people don't really like. I don't know what went on behind the scenes, but I know this. If there's the advertisers admitted they're not pulling their money off of Fox. They're not stupid. Mm-hmm. They're moving it. Let me see, how did they put it? They're re-expressing it. Their money will be re-expressed to other programs on Fox temporarily until everybody forgets about this and it blows over.
You think it goes away?
His point was that he doesn't want this to drag on, all of these things to drag on. So he paid him off, and, you know, hopefully his kids won't, you know, have to listen to this all the time. But, you know, we don't know what happened behind closed doors. That's all I'm going to say.
Is it kind of like separate the artist from the offstage behavior? Because I'll be honest, there are something I can still watch movies that people say, oh, I can never watch another Woody Allen movie because of his personal life problems. Some of his movies, though, maybe not the recent ones, but I mean, I could still watch them because they're good movies sometimes.
Well, his old movies, Bananas, Sleeper, you know, all those are, you know, Annie Hall, great movies.
Yeah. Warren, part of one of what he said, you know, in the response was, hey, when you're in this arena, quote unquote, there are a lot of allegations towards you. Some would say, why aren't we hearing about them with other people? We have kind of heard about it a little bit with Matt Lauer, not so much the sexual harassment, you know, sort of, but maybe extramarital affairs. Does it even matter?
Matt Lauer? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's been rumors about Matt Lauer forever.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Bill O'Reilly, welcome to the no spin zone. Gives a little bit different word, different meaning to the word. You know, spin around here, girl. Pull your skirt up a little bit. Let's see what you got there. This is the spin zone now. Oh, you know,
why run?
Poor old Bill. You know, I mean, the man just wants to have a little fun. You know, how much money does he make a year? You know, millions and gazillions. That's going to be an embarrassment to his children. Well, big deal, Bill. You know, your kids are the boys or girls, you know. The boys probably say, hey, Dad, go, Daddy, go, you know. The girls say, you're a nasty old man, old pervert, and I never want to see you again, and blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't care for Bill O'Reilly, really never have. I watched him a little bit, and that's about it. Look, you know that in the end of it, there's money out there to be mined, and, you know, that women deserve better. In the workplace, anywhere else. You know, I was brought up in that time when men were expected to have manners towards women, and women were also expected to have manners. You know, we went through this convoluted era when everything got turned totally upside down. When the feminist movement started and the women started moving into the workplace, it was all about, you don't open doors for me. You can curse in front of me, and I can curse in front of you. I'm just one of the guys. Everybody's equal here, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as they got into there, it was, you don't say that in front of me. You don't, blah, blah, blah. You know, that, look, I've been in workplaces before where men would go in there and pinch each other and all kind of just to watch the other one jump.
Huh?
You know, against the rules. But then
you know what? Give me back my resume. I don't want to work there.
One of the biggest companies in the world. And, you know, I mean, they called it horseplay back in the old days. You know, those things shouldn't go on in a workplace, regardless of whether it's between sexes or different sex or whatever. And, you know, Bill O'Reilly's not immune to it.
That's right. And I don't excuse any of that behavior either. But we don't know what really went on.
No, we don't. But, you know, on the other hand, well, you know, I'm going to spare them the embarrassment and all that. What they call us, say, well, we didn't do nothing wrong.
It's a good story. It sounds like a good story.
Yeah. It is a good story, you know.
All right, let's take a couple phone calls, 232-1542. Go ahead, caller. You are on with Wingin' It Wednesday. Carol Ross and Warren Cottle. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead with your comment.
Yeah, all this mess you're seeing with all these people in public office that are doing all this crazy stuff like Anthony Weiner and all that, this is all because they let the FSCN community take over. And the results is what you're seeing is a mess.
Okay, thank you.
What community?
I don't know.
Don't even
I
ask.
don't. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
By the way, I did. Let me just say this, and then we'll take the caller too. I did get a text in from a very loyal listener who says his thoughts on the Republicans, and the Gorsuch everything. The Democrats are forcing the nuclear option, and that's a question mark. The Democrats are forcing the nuclear option, question mark. Merrick Garland didn't even get a hearing. Both parties are to blame for what we have to deal with right now in Washington. No.
Well, we followed their rule.
Yeah, back and forth.
The Biden rule. Hey.
Let's go to 232-1542. Caller 2, you're on the air. Go ahead with your comment.
Yeah, maybe O'Reilly's looking to join the elite club of scumbags named Bill, like Clinton, Cosby, and even Bill Murray.
Okay.
Bill Murray? That's a new one on me. Bill Murray? St. Vincent?
Oh, you don't know about Bill Murray?
No.
The reason why Ghostbusters 3 wasn't made and the female one was made was because his friend Harold Ramis told him he should stop beating his wife.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a new one to me.
Me too.
He has a wife?
Thank you.
He has a wife?
But who knew?
2, 3. Okay. Well, that pretty much puts
Who
a bow on
knew?
that segment.
Oh, wait, there it is.
All right,
There's your
Warren.
final one. Warren.
I just want to say somebody sent me a nice little email of the message the other day. You know, when they had the bridge caught on fire in Atlanta and stopped all the traffic, it said that the police have released a sketch of the arsonist that burned the Atlanta bridge, and it was a picture of the former president of LSU. You know who that was? General William Tecumseh Sherman.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Very good. Very good,
that
Warren.
was everywhere you go in Atlanta,
time joke.
there's a phoenix on every light pole. It is kind of crazy that something else burned down. Warren Cottle and Carol Ross will be right back with more Wingin' It Wednesday all ahead. This is Acadiana's Morning News.
We cover it.
Myself in the pouring home. See the light come over now. I see myself in the pouring rain. I watch hope come over me. Here we are now going to the side. I pick up my friends.
Service Cadillac sponsors this Wingin' It Wednesday show. I don't know what they're thinking, by the way. I mean, it's madness in here. The call is at 232-1542. Never stop. Do you think anything? Let's just talk about like the news cycle, okay? As we kind of get some more calls lined up. 232-1542. Is it really moving faster? Or are we just a little bit more aware now that social media is going on of things that are happening day to day and different people involved? I just feel like lawmakers who we never knew. I mean, I can't tell you if I've ever been able to name the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Without looking it up to find out who it is. And I feel like everyone knows who Nunes is now.
Well, because we've given the power to government, and so now we're keeping an eye. We all keep an eye on government. But look, we're news junkies. Mm-hmm. Do you realize how many people really are so totally unaware?
Yeah.
Just watch Water's World anytime, and they show a picture of,
Good point.
The only person they actually ever knew was Barack Obama, the only one, because he cut through the clutter. He had a persona over and above all the chatter. But, most people are not like us. They're just not really news junkies.
All right, we'll wrap it up with the phone.
Except the KPEL listeners. Yes, the KPEL listeners are news junkies.
But on the other part, everything is moving a lot faster now. We're at warp speed. Used to you had 15 or 20 minutes of news in the evening from 3 networks, and that was it.
That was it.
And it was also used to. You remember in the days when it was a long distance phone call?
Yes.
That people didn't call that much because it was extra price. And you remember that you used to have to actually write letters.
We have so many more ways
to communicate. You had to wait for a week to get a response back from a letter, and on and on and on. So now, everything just moves instantaneously.
All right, let's go. Line 1, caller, go ahead with your comment.
Let's be honest. This whole thing against Susan Rice, this is a racist thing. It's against black people. She's a strong black woman. You know.
Okay, thank you for your comment.
I said that before, that a lot of people oppose her just simply because she was married to a white man.
Warren.
All right, 232-1542. Go ahead on line 2 with your comments.
Hello, how y'all doing this morning?
Good.
I was just wondering when Evelyn Farkas or Susan Rice might wake up dead one morning.
Really? No, I don't know. No, I don't think Miss Farkas is capable of murder. But Miss Farkas just put the kibosh on all this all this stuff. Huh? She just let the cat out of the bag.